So now we just need to link up these buttons, and that's a pretty easy process. And anytime you encounter the little question mark, that just means, or I guess that's more of an exclamation, it means it needs to be connected. This right here is the little timer that when you're in a current marker, it gives you the time until the next marker. So this is the current marker of the song, current section, and the upcoming section. So we need to connect this. Now the way you connect your buttons is you go to the third tab, which says unmapped, which it usually automatically goes there when you select on an unmapped button. So if I click there, I want to go to the first channel strip. I usually make all my button connections to that first channel strip, which is these little lists down here correlate to these channel strips along the right. So we got click, guide, drums, bass, and over here click, guide, drums, bass. So this is just pointing. We're basically just saying we're connecting this button to this channel strip, and then underneath that, like we have volume, which is connecting to that, mute, to the mute button, and so on and so forth. But inside that we have another drill here, which is the playback, which is connecting to the playback instance. And this is how we connect buttons to functions within the channel strip. And anything connected to this channel strip, if I had other inserts or effects or sends going on, all that could be controlled with on-screen controls. So I want to control within this playback plugin because I want to start playback when I hit this button. So I'm going to click playback. Then underneath that, I have transport, which is all the transport controls. And I have a button, or I have a control that says play from start, which means that wherever it is in the section of the song, if you hit the start button, it'll always start back at the beginning. So it's kind of a play from beginning. So now that whoops, actually that's wrong because I'm actually connected to this, so I don't want the transport. I need to go back up here. I need to go to the status one. And inside of status, I have time to next marker. So there it is. Now it's showing me the time from this marker to the next marker. And it seems that I also need to connect these guys as well, because it's not showing me my current or next marker. That would be important. I didn't see the exclamation, but yeah, you need to connect those as well. So on the current marker, I'm going again to the click channel strip, playback, status, current marker name. So there it is. Right now we're at verse 1. Now if I were to click the next, click, playback, status, upcoming marker name. So we're currently on the verse and channel's upcoming, and we have about 8 seconds or so until that. Okay, so now we need to assign our start button, which is again on click channel, playback, transport, play from start. Okay, next button. Now the play pause button basically will just start and stop from the current position of the song. So if I hit play, it'll start wherever the song position is. If I hit play, it'll start at verse 1. I hit start, it'll start at the beginning of the song. So again, to do that, click, playback, transport, play from current position. So that makes this like a toggle play stop button. And then stop, click, playback, transport. I like to do this with a stop with a fade out. It'll give it a 2-second fade, which is really nice, so that it doesn't just stop abruptly. If you need to stop within service for any reason, it'll give it a 2-second fade out, which is really nice. And then finally, loop is cycle. If you ever want to cycle a section of music, like a chorus or a verse, you can use that to do that. Click, playback. No, wait, not transport. It's actually play option, and then we have cycle. So those 4 buttons are connected. Now we have our tempo indicator, which will let us know, based upon the information stored on those files that GarageBand gave us, we can display the tempo. So again, we go to that first channel strip, again to playback, status, tempo. And there's our tempo, 78, which is actually 79, but for some reason it rounds it down for some strange reason. Haven't figured out why. So now these are our marker buttons. So we have basically 16 buttons that can be assigned to individual markers on the song, and I I just signed them in the order, in the map order of the song. So to start plugging these two individual markers of the song, again, I go back to that channel strip, playback. This all is in the playback. Transport, go to marker, and to set a marker, you have to set a button on and a button off parameter. So what I do is I just slide these levels all the way to the left, and then I just start moving this bottom arrow to the right. So the first one is the title marker, which is the title top of the song. Playback, transport, go to marker. Again, slide this over. Second marker point is intro. So I'm just gonna just click through the song. Until I either run out of marker buttons or I make it to the end of the song. And after a while you get used to it, and this goes a lot faster. Verse 2. Oops, skipped one. Chorus. I'm getting closer to the end now, so I'm going to start at the end. Back this way. Chorus 2. It's chorus 1, chorus 2, and then finally the outro, which is the last one. And then I'm just going to slide this all the way. So as you can see, we have to have the button on, off, but values identical, the same buttons won't work. So we have two left over at the end. We only had 14 markers on the song. So our markers are set. Our attributes are set. Everything's good. The only other thing now to consider is how you're going to be outputting this to your sound. And the simple way is to just do this as a split track scenario where you take your click and your guide tracks and run them. That's your pan there. So just run them to the left, and then take every other track channel of the track and pan that to your right. That way you've got click and guide on your left and track on the right. And then from there, within a rehearsal or whatever, you have the ability to mute tracks or channel strips that you don't need that correlate with your live band situation, or you can even use the volume here to actually mix the instruments.